How great are our people to carve just into the mountain like that. And this is his beautiful wife, Nefertari, which means the most beautiful. This is the most ancient temple dedicated to a queen anywhere on the planet. This is the first and grandest temple ever constructed to any queen. So the African woman was most definitely revered and worshipped by her man in the ancient world, and even today. Some of us got to wake the fuck up, though. The Grand Temple of Native dynasty. Okay, this was built by one of our brothers, okay, for the goddess. That's number 11. Okay, we're going down, and it's so beautiful how you could just sail up on our temple from the water. The Grand Temple of Luxor. This was constructed by that African brother right there, his wife, Queen T. We all know Queen T. We're going to get, if you don't, I'm going to make sure I introduce you to that beautiful goddess real soon. You'll see the Grand Temple of Luxor. So you see right there them columns, and you see where the freaks, the Greeks, got their information from, because some African architects went over there and showed their ass how to do it. Okay? And this right here, again, Luxor, Ramesses II also built on to that temple. You see the great columns there. We also showed you this precinct, the grandest precinct of temples anywhere in the world, the Temple of Karnak. We done went over that. This is inside that temple. It was so big, it's 4, 5 big temples inside the temple, and close to 100 other smaller temples inside the temple. This is the temple of Khonsu, the son of Amun and Mut. And here's the Serapeum sarcophagus. This was built, and I don't understand how the fuck they got the Serapeum. I don't know why they call it that. You understand? But you can see this sarcophagus. You understand? 100 tons. Okay, showing that we created it. So when you go to the old Mex and you go to Mexico and you see them in they little ass sarcophagus, you see how large this is, where it could, who the hell did you build this for? See, you build it for gods, because that's who we were at this time. You're not gonna go nowhere on this planet. Great Zimbabwe, in Southern Africa, okay, showing that no other continent has so many wonders. And though this is in the AD period, it still speaks of that same ancient wisdom that had been passed down for many a year in Africa. Right there, Lalibela, okay, Ethiopia. 11 churches there. Now Lalibela to the right, you got, and carved right out of the, just like Abu Simbel, carved right out of the mountain with perfection, showing that African ingenuity, architectural genius in our people this is in 11 AD. Okay, so nobody else has that, that long resume. You understand what I'm saying? You talking about from the pyramid of Imhotep at 2700 BC to, and down into 11 AD. You talking about 4,000 years of consistent, all shocking, you know what I'm saying, accomplishments in architecture by our people. You see what I'm saying? Right there, 1150 to 1170 AD, got 11 churches with these, what you call the Oxum Stela. You understand? Some of the largest monuments carved out of one solid block of stone. The one that fell down was 500 tons. Okay, so that show you that the Oxumite, surpassed Egypt in a lot of respects, because this was the largest obelisk ever raised, even including Egypt. Now, if the one Hatshepsut would have raised, it would have been the heaviest, because that was over 1,000. It was twice, but it was never raised because it had a crack in it. So this one that fell down, which I believe the European pulled it down and they lied, They didn't have the technology to get it down so they could steal it. The one you see behind it, they brought back. They stole it and took it to Rome when Mussolini stinking ass went down there and committed genocide on our Ethiopian family. And so they cut it and took it to Rome, and they just brought it back in the last maybe 7-8 years. Okay, and so this one that fell down was carved out of one solid piece of granite. It was the largest single monument in the ancient world carved from one piece of granite. So this was awesome. So it showed you that they even surpassed Egypt in that sense. So it showed you that we still carried on that legacy of our people. 18, Der El Bahari, created by the great Queen Hatshepsut. Okay, showing you that the black woman is God. Nigga, got structures that's predate the white man even coming out the goddamn cave. I got to say that. Okay, I got to say that. How many temples did we show that was dedicated to the goddess, to the black woman? How many? How many? Damn near half of them. Okay, dedicated to the black woman. Here we go, 19. Here's another one, created by Hatshepsut. If she would have raised it, it would have been the largest single structure ever raised from one solid piece of granite, not pieces. You see what I'm saying? This was over 16, this was 1,160 tons. You can see the people, imagine that. And then you're going to sell it to Egypt? Imagine what kind of ship she had to have to sail that down to Egypt. This is in Aswan. This is in Nubia. Okay, this is in Nubia. You know what I'm saying? So Luxor is about, from where Aswan is at, Luxor is at least 500-600 miles. So you imagine selling this down 500-600 miles, what type of ship you had to have. Imagine that. Imagine it. The pyramids of Morocco. And then you got the pyramids of Nuri. You got the pyramids of Nuri. You got the pyramids of Morocco. And I think you got some at Kerma. Okay? But this is the biggest one in Nubia. And so Nubia had over close to 300 pyramids. Okay? Between Egypt and Nubia, it was almost 430 some odd pyramid. So at least 280 of them was, right around that number is in Nubia. So the Nubians built more pyramids than the Egyptians. There you have the Mosque of Timbuktu. That's African genius. We must give respect to that. You understand? It was first constructed by Mansa Musa, okay, in 1327. This is African genius, one of the great universities of the known world. The two greatest libraries ever constructed in the ancient world. We won't say Alexandria, but the great library of Egypt, that's what I will call it, and the great library of Timbuktu, the two greatest libraries ever known, and we still have the manuscripts today. You can go to Timbuktu today, and you can look it up right online, how many manuscripts they still have. It is the second greatest library of the ancient world. Both of them are African. And even though, Timbuktu is other, but the wisdom is ancient. The wisdom is ancient, even though it's 1327, but the two greatest libraries ever known to man were two African libraries. You see right there, and I love the fact that in West Africa, even though they Muslim, they build a mosque in the form of pyramids. We've shown that. They build it, and that is an Egyptian temple blueprint, okay? You see the pyramid. They build their mosque in the form of the Valley of the King. You got over 62 tombs that have been found in this greatest cemetery ever. One tomb can shock the mind. I had to just put 22. I could have broke it down, but that would have took so much time. I'm gonna have to go back and just break it down separately. You know what I'm saying? But I just put 22. I could have broke that down and at least got, you know what I'm saying, out of that 62, at least, 40 of them would have shocked the mind, and that would at least went up to 62. Even though I'm on 22, I could have went up to 62 with this cemetery, but that's just overdoing it. You know what I'm saying? They're just overdoing it. You see how I add something, and we talking about carving into the mountain again, like Lalibela. So you talking about these are skyscrapers under the ground, going to different 5 and 6 levels under the ground with rooms on each level. You might have 2, 3, 4 rooms on each level, depending on what king or queen it was. And one of the greatest tombs that ever been to be found intact was the tomb of the boy king Tutankhamun. Right here, there is no greater artifacts that ever been found. And this was a boy king. We already know how the great older kings and queens of Africa would have went down. Where is our artifacts? Where is our artifacts? We got to have them back. The Temple of Edfu 23, we got 2 more, and I've ended my case that the Greeks, the freaks, are not even in no way. They can't even compete with Great Zimbabwe. And I'm not lessening in Great Zim. You could put Lalibela and Great Zimbabwe together, and they would beat the Greeks. Those temples in Lalibela and Great Zimbabwe, we take the little brothers, even though they might be of the oldest because they south, but we're going to take the little brothers. You understand what I'm saying? And sick them on the Greeks and Romans. Those temples at Lalibela and Great Zimbabwe are more beautiful than the Greek and Roman structures. Let's be real about it. We at the Temple of Edfu, you understand? And in there you see the art, you see where the statue of Heru would have been. You know, this is the sanctuary, showing you that we are a people of the river, people of the sea, people of the ocean. We did not walk nowhere. We mastered the ocean. We mastered the seas. And this is how we took civilization all over the planet. You see how beautiful this temple is. You see that there's writing over the whole temple. How in the hell do you believe that our people would have wrote all over all these temples up and down this river for 2, 3 people? You dumbass cracker. I had to say that. Trying to make it seem as our populace was ignorant. How the hell you think they wrote over all these temples for 2, 3 people? You fool. That's ridiculous. Temple of Dendera. Okay? This is, and I didn't put the dates up here. All of them is, I'll put them up there the next time. All of them is, in the beat. And I'm talking about some of them is 1500 BC. Dendera is in the Ptolemaic era, but at the same time, African architect put it there. Okay? Wait a minute, it was there, 237 to 57 BC. I didn't even see it down there. Okay, that's Edfu. Okay, and here's Dendera 24, and I can, the cosmological, the astronomical calculations that's in the ceiling of Dendera is over 100, man, at least 100. They done already mapped the constellations. They done already mapped the constellations, family. Okay, and so whatever the Greek freak could try to dilute, he did not understand it, because I don't give a goddamn how many times you cheat off of a nigga paper. You still do not understand the reality of what just putting the right answer don't mean you got understanding. See, you can write the right answer because you can steal that from somebody. But when somebody say, get that blank sheet of paper and work it out, then that'll prove whether you got understanding.